Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? It's nice to have you along for the ride today. Hopefully you're joining up and down the country, the length and the breadth. And we're here to do a little bit of yoga. I've been away for 2 weeks and you've had the lovely Carolina teaching for me. So I've got a really tough act to follow, right? Because she's great. I did one of their classes here at Space to Breathe yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. You never know, I might bring a little bit of Carolina influence into my classes today. Yeah. So find a nice, comfortable seat. And I don't have a plan for today. You'll be surprised to know. There is no plan, but that's life, right? We sometimes have a plan and then it gets hijacked, doesn't it, by circumstances of our lives. So the nice thing about yoga is that we're always coming back to our center, and we get to sit on our mats and we get to observe what's going on ear and ear, right? We get to bring all of this mind-body connection, and people kind of get a little bit obsessed with yoga and they go, oh, I'm not flexible enough, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. Get rid of all of that nonsense in your head because it doesn't make any sense. That's not what yoga's all about. Yoga's about coming back to the present moment, coming back to yourself with compassion, right? With compassion to yourself. And then you can spread it out into the world, right? I firmly believe that, right? Compassion. And curiosity is the other thing. Always be curious about stuff. Be curious about how you move. That's where we are today. I'm going to read the teabag quotes to you in a moment. Thanks to Jackie and Irene and Louisa who have come. Really great holiday. Drove all the way down to Rome, Frascati. Drove all the way back. My camper van didn't break down, but we had a few hairy moments. But it was beautiful, and it was a real adventure. And I did 1.5 hour session of yoga. So I'm a bad yogi, right? I'm always talking about regular, steady practice. But I was busy, right? I did quite a lot of running, and then we went to a beautiful wedding down in Frascati, and it was in a vineyard, which was beautiful. But I don't drink alcohol, so I just kind of watched everyone else drinking beautiful wine. Not that I wanted to. I had some nice non-alcoholic beer. All right, shall we start with the teabag quote? So this teabag says, and I like this because I've been struggling a little bit since I've been back. My energy and mood has been a little bit low and cranky. So this teabag says, why not enjoy today? It will be gone tomorrow. Why not enjoy today? It will be gone tomorrow. It's a good point, right? Is this getting in the way? This is getting in the way. So I'm going to enjoy it from this moment. I'm going to have a little slurp of tea. Nice. And make sure you are as comfortable as you can be. All right. I'm sat on a bolster. Shall I show you? There I am. Look, there's a bolster. So I'm sat and I'm having a nice gentle stretch through my ankles. But sit any way that feels good. I guess the prerequisite is draw some length into your spine. And do that kind of so you're not sitting kind of slumped. Kind of draw length in and roll your shoulders back. Now we're doing it from that position. Your hands, they can come up, they can come down. Doesn't matter. Tuck your chin in very slightly, just so you got length in the back of your neck. And then if it feels good, just close your eyes or just draw your gaze down towards your knees. I'm going to close my eyes. But don't feel like you need to do any of this stuff. Or do some of it. But if you're in your kitchen and you're making bread or making a cup of tea, that's all right. Doesn't matter. And then just connect in for the first time. Probably the first time today. Maybe it's your second or third time today. And notice what's present for you. Notice what's going on. So maybe just check in with your breath. Notice how your breath feels within your body. And just that natural rhythm. As you inhale, you feel the belly expand. As you exhale, you feel the belly fall back towards your spine. And see if you can kind of catch a little rhythm with the breath. Maybe there's a little pause at the top. And then the exhale comes quite naturally. You're not forcing anything. And then as you check in here, think about your physical body. Can you bring your sensation to a part of your body that probably needs a little bit of nourishment? It needs a little bit of love. Maybe it's your fingers, maybe it's your toes. Maybe it's something which is a little more present for you. Maybe your hips, your knees, maybe your shoulders. Maybe you feel a little bit of tension in your spine. Maybe right up into your jaw. And with the jaw and the spine and the neck in mind, with your eyes closed or your gaze soft, just draw some nice circles with your nose. So think about your nose as a central point and then draw circles with it. So rotating your head up and bringing the chin down. And you might match that movement with breath. So inhaling up. Exhale as the chin falls down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Don't push it. If there's any areas that feel tight, that feel like they need a little extra love, so maybe you pause and breathe into it, and please do that. And then when you feel ready, if you haven't already, come back to center and then just swap it out. Nice fluid movements. And that real conscious effort of keeping your jaw super relaxed. And then when you're ready, really gently, give a little bit of intention, bring your head back to center. And then when you're ready, exhale through your mouth. Nice, beautiful. And then if your eyes are closed, just come with your eyes open. Really nice start. The trajectory of the class, I have decided, that's what I meant to say, will be through a little bit of flow and some dynamic movements, which we'll do today. So not massively energetic, but enough to energize you and to kind of shake you up a little bit, okay? But from here, let's start with a little bit of pranayama. So bring your right hand up towards your nose and then block your right nostril off with your thumb and then take an inhale through your left nostril. And then block off your left with your ring finger or little finger and then exhale through your right. Inhaling right. Close off your right, exhale through your left. Inhale through your left. Close off your left, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close off right, exhale through your left. Inhaling left. Close off left, exhale right. Inhale through your right. Close off right, exhale through your left. And then one more complete round. Inhaling through your left. Close it off, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close it off. Final time. Exhale through your left. Nice. And then just bring your right hand down. Take a couple of breaths. Really nice start, everyone. Beautiful. And then, however you're sat, if you're sat already cross-legged, then maybe bring your feet out in front and just knock your knees side to side. So just bring a little bit of movement in. If you're sat onto a chair, then a bit close to the camera, aren't I? If you're sat on a chair, then feel free to come off your chair, or if you're propped up against something, feel free to move from there. I'm just going to move some of my stuff out the way. And then we'll all arrive on the mat together, shall we? Let me just come back here. Nice. And then your feet are out in front, leaning back into the hands, and you just drop in your knees to either side. Feels good, right? Feels really good. A little gentle movement through the hips and just coaxing the body open, just a little bit. And notice how you feel. Maybe you feel a little bit different now you've worked through that first set of pranayama, breath work. We will come back to it later. We'll do something a little bit different. Nice. When you're ready, come to sit. Find as comfortable a position as feels good for you. Have a little wriggle around. And then bring your hand onto your knees. And there's just a little bit of touch. You're not kind of pressing down. And then think about your navel and then draw circles with it. So kind of begin to circle your torso around your hips. And you can match this movement with breath. So there's maybe an inhale here and then an exhale here. So inhale as you come forward and then exhale as you round. So we're just concentrating here on the lower spine. We're working into the hips. And if, the spine feels a little tight, it doesn't want to kind of play ball today, then just little movements. You can stay upright. You can just draw little circles, or maybe bending into the elbows a little bit more. And notice how this feels. It's a nice movement, right? Just picking a direction, inhaling, exhaling. Sufi circles or Sufi grind. And then inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, just come back the other way. Just swap sides. Matching the movement with breath. So stay present with your breath, kind of conscious breathing. Nice. And then inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, let your breath go. Beautiful. Bring your hands out again, and then see if you can just lengthen out through your left leg. And then your right foot is going to kind of press somewhat inside this left thigh. Okay. So if you feel like you're tilting backwards here already, bend the knee. You don't have to have a straight leg. Or you can place a blanket underneath your hips just to rotate your pelvis forward. Let's do something nice and simple. We're just going to twist over to the left, but it's slightly different because we've got the leg out. So first of all, just bring your left hand behind you. Nice. Just notice how that feels. So find length in your spine first of all. Then bring your right hand to the outer edge of your left thigh. And then just use that little bit of leverage just to twist very gently over to the left. Rolling the left shoulder back. You get a little passive stretch through the left leg, but you're rotating from your navel and twisting over to the left. We've already moved into the neck, so if you want to kind of move the neck a little bit more, feel free, but don't strain. Take one more deep inhale. And then we'll come all the way back to center. Nice. And then just swap that out. So a little variation on a twist. Left foot seals the inside of the right thigh. Sit nice and tall first of all. It's worth kind of finding as much comfort and ease as you can. And then the right hand just comes behind you. And I press into my fingertips just because I can find a lot of length in my spine, so I'm sitting tall. And then this left hand just on the outer edge of the right leg, the right thigh. So you kind of just hold on, hook the fingers around, and then twisting over towards the right. Nice deep inhales. And full releasing exhales. Maybe 3 more like that. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Deep inhale. Full exhale. And then one more. Deepest inhale. And your fullest exhale. Nice, beautiful. And then come all the way back to center. And then see if you can bring the soles of the feet together. And maybe just rock forward onto your sitting bones a little bit. So sometimes you get this instruction in yoga where they say remove the flesh from your seat, your bottom. So you kind of just remove the flesh from your bottom, just so you tilt forward a little bit. And then just bring your hands onto your toes and then sit nice and tall and then just move the knees up and down. You don't have to come down far here. This is not all about rounding the spine. It's not about finding a really big forward fold. It's just coaxing the body open again. And just encouraging the inner hips, the outer hips, the spine, these areas that sometimes hold a lot of tension. We're just encouraging them open. Nice, everyone. Beautiful. And then just stop the knees moving if they were. And then maybe just fold a little further forward. Keep length in your spine though, but maybe rotate the pelvis forward just a little bit more. So you might feel this more kind of inside the hips. You might feel it in your lower spine. Send the breath where it's needed. Deep inhales and full exhales. Nice. Do one more like that. Nice deep inhale and a full exhale. Beautiful. And then bring the hands out in front. Do this really gently. Roll all the way back or just tilt all the way back. Bring your legs out again. Have a little wriggle through your bottom and then drop the knees to either side. Nice. Beautiful. Really nice start, everyone. Hopefully you're beginning to feel a little bit of movement. A lot of this stuff is quite subtle. It doesn't have to be powerful. Yoga is certainly not about burning calories. That's something different. It ain't yoga. Even though you will burn calories doing yoga, it's not the aim. What is the aim, everyone? Enlightenment. All right, come on to all fours. I am going to grab my tea. So do not follow what I do. Well, you can do. You can grab your tea. And come on to all fours. And then think about when you come on to all fours, how you're set up. So really intentionally press the tops of the feet into your mat and really spread out through your fingers. Okay, so this is that tabletop position. You've got that natural bow in your spine. You see my lower spine here? It's kind of quite a natural movement. But then if I press into my shoulders just a little bit, I can kind of lengthen my spine just a bit. So maybe do that. So on an exhale, just let everything go and you feel that natural curvature of your spine. And then on an inhale, press into the hands, engage the shoulders, and then just lengthen your spine just a little bit. So you took your navel back towards the spine. Exhale, let it go. So the pelvis drops down. Inhale, pelvis rolls back and the spine lengthens, but it's very subtle. But keep the navel engaged. As you exhale, let the navel drop, let your belly spill. As you inhale, press into the shoulders, the hands, the arms, tuck the navel back towards the spine. Exhale, let it go. Enjoy the release. Inhale. Be aware of the engagement. Exhale, let the belly go. Inhale, bring the navel back towards the spine. Nice, 2 more times. Exhale, let everything drop. Inhale, suck everything in. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, bring it up. And then one final exhale, split the knees wide. And then first child's pose, toes are together. Now what you might want to do is just come here, and keep the arms engaged. Maybe lengthen, and then maybe bring your forehead down to the floor. Or you can do this, you can bring your forehead onto your hands. Or if you need to bring your head up a little bit more, make fists, or place it on a book, or a block, or a blanket. And settle down into a child's pose just for a few moments. And again, fully embody this pose. Really feel where you're feeling it. Notice what you're noticing. Where do you feel this in your spine? Where do you feel it in your hips? What do you need to do to make this pose your own? Take 2 more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, just peel yourself off the floor and then come back to all fours. And then just that very regular stretch that we do. Press into the right toes and just lengthen out through the right hand side of your body. Really press into your toes. Again, where do you feel that? I feel it in my calves a lot. I feel it in the soles of my foot. Maybe lift the foot. Press the foot away. Maybe bend the knee. Maybe open the hip a little bit. Maybe draw some circles. Maybe feel that little cracks and pops. Just experiment. And when you've had enough, come back to the other side. Lengthen out through the left leg or the opposite leg to which you're using. Have a little flex about, not too much, don't strain. Maybe lift the leg, maybe bend the knee, maybe draw some circles. Beautiful. And then come back to center. And then move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head and your heart. As you exhale, round your spine. Inhale forward. Exhale round. Inhale, spine elongates, head and the heart lift. As you exhale, separate the shoulders, round your spine, tuck the navel in. Inhale forward. Exhale round. Inhale forward. Exhale round. You just get into your own natural rhythm, a rhythm that suits you, a rhythm that you feel comfortable with. And then just do 2 more complete rounds. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. Nice work, everyone. As you exhale, just release. Tuck your toes under and then come into your first downward facing dog. So feet are nice and wide, about hip distance. Big generous bend in the knees. Elongate your spine. Press your heels down towards the floor. And just breathe it out here. Big bend in the knees, please. Unless you know your down dog super well and you're like, I ain't bending my knees, then you don't need to. But you want that, you want to lengthen your spine. If your legs are long, especially for me, this sort of thing happens where there's too much tension. So if I just lengthen my spine as I bend my knees, that happens and that's so much nicer. I could hang out here for a long time. All right, from here, bend your knees, hinge your hips. They kind of move like this, and then step to the top of your mat. Now I just step first my right, and then my left to the top. You might do it a few steps. And then go really wide with the feet. So again, just go really wide, wider than you probably think you should. And then just hang down here. got an option to grab opposite elbows, or you can just come into the standing forward fold. Don't have to touch the floor. You can grab onto your knees or the thighs, or the calves, or the toes, whatever works for you. And maybe just sway around a little bit, maybe sway around a lot. Side to side movements. What do you want to do? What do you want to bring in? Nice. Beautiful. And then from here, bring it down into your feet. Maybe walk them a little bit narrower so they're right underneath your hips. And then come all the way up. Sweep the arms up and enjoy yourself here. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Beautiful. So you're going to stand in Tadasana. I'm just going to move my camera just so you get the full effect, everyone. Is that good enough? Oh, yeah, that's perfect. All right. So hands at heart center. Let's move through one round of sun salutation, super slow, where I'm going to challenge you by getting you to hold the poses for a few breaths. Okay. So let's inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, fold in deep. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. Roll the weight into your toes and then roll your shoulders back. As you exhale, bring your hands down, step one foot back, then the other, and then you might need to adjust your feet. Again, go about hip width apart, and inhale, lengthen into your plank. Nice. Take a few breaths here, keep breathing. Nice deep, rich inhales. And full releasing exhales. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. One more like that. Your deepest inhale. And your fullest exhale. Nice. And then drop your knees down. And then keep your elbows tucked in. So this lowering is kind of a bit of a technique. So you keep your elbows tucked in. And then you lower down onto your belly. Really slowly. And challenge your arms, your shoulders, your chest. When you arrive here, kiss your forehead onto your mat or your floor. And then inhale. Keep the elbows tucked in. And just come into a little baby cobra. As you exhale, bring your forehead down. Do that 2 more times. Pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, fold. One more. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come all the way back down. Nice. Tuck your toes under. Press yourself back to all fours. Then lift your hips and come into downward facing dog. Reposition your feet if you need to. You don't want to go too long with your pose. So you kind of none of this sort of thing. You know, when you're kind of here, it's a little bit long. So step your feet in and then maybe bend the knees and lengthen out through your spine. Think about your navel. And tuck your navel back towards your spine. Think about your middle finger. Press it down into your mat. And think about the energy all the way up through your arms and down into your hips. When you're ready, nice and bouncy in the knees, look between the hands, step to the top of your mat, and then inhale just to lengthen to come up halfway. As you exhale, I invite you to fold in really deep. Press into your feet, inhale, come all the way up to stand, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. All right, so one more like that, but on the breath, so we'll move a little bit quicker. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. Your next exhale, your hands come down, you're stepping back. Inhale here to find some length. And then exhale to lower. You can drop the knees or come down in one piece. Inhale into cobra. Nice, everyone. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, straight into down dog this time. Or you can always go to all fours first. Take 2 rounds of breath. So deep inhale. Full exhale. Shake the head if you want. One more, deep inhale. And a full exhale. Nice. From here, bend your knees into your hips, look between the hands. Gently bring yourself to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen, come up halfway. As you exhale, you fold it in, press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. Beautiful. And then from here, just let the hands go. Grab yourself a little drink if you need one. We're going to do a balance. So we're going to do something relatively simple, and I'll give you, well, balances are never simple, right? But I'm going to give you options. So the one I'm going to do is I'm going to root down through my right foot, I'm going to lift up through my left knee, and I'm going to make a basket grip around my left knee. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything else apart from that. Now, if that feels too much for you, remember you've got options. You can always use a wall. I'm going to walk off camera here. So you can put your finger against the wall, and then obviously it's the opposite knee, but find a wall, you turn around. So you can do this. This is going to give you a little bit of support. Or if you didn't want to do that, then you can always just bring the left foot against the ankle, or maybe against the calf, and you come into this tree variation and the hands can come to heart center. So I'll let you balance how you want to balance. The most important thing is you keep a nice big spread out through your standing foot, and you just gaze at one thing. Maybe just find a little spot on your carpet, or your floor, or maybe on the wall. I always think it's a bit harder to look at peripheral vision straight out in front. I always look down, but I'll leave it up to you. So find your balance, find your gaze, lift out through the left foot, spread out through the right toes. And just breathe here. So this is just creating that brain-body connection, where the body just begins to physically balance, and then the brain catches up, and the brain's like, okay, I can make sense of this. How do I make sense of it? Well, it takes time, and it takes focus, and you can play around. You can always open the knee out a little bit. Some people lengthen the leg out, but my hamstrings aren't open enough for that. You can always grab on the inside of the foot and bring it behind, and bring the arm out. You can do a little dancer pose, or fall out of a little dancer pose. Falling out is fine. It's just about finding that balance. Wherever you found yourself, take one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, bring the leg down really slowly. Shake it out as it comes down. Nice. And then give both legs a shake. And then think about the left foot. And then lift out through the right. Nice. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you make a basket grip. Find your focal point. Notice how it feels from side to side. Play around with it if you want. You can always open the leg out. You can always bring the foot here. You can bring the foot here. You can challenge yourself and maybe grab the ankle and do this pose that I struggle with on the other side. Kind of open everything out. Play around with it. See what you want to do. If you fall out, come back in. Practice, practice, practice. Right. Nice. One more round of breath. And then when you're ready, just bring your foot down. Give it a shake as you come down. Nice. Fantastic. And then come with your feet about hip width apart. Nice. Beautiful. Yes. So the undefeatable week, which is in your chat bar, which is coming up, you will see a video of me brushing my teeth on one leg. And it's all about bringing movement, mindfulness, exercises to our everyday lives within our homes. And that's coming up. I can't remember which week it is. Where are we? I think is it this next week? I think it's next week. But have a look at the Facebook page and stay connected to that. Maybe Catherine will put it in the chat bar. It's the 25th of September. There you go. So it's on the 25th of September. So check that out. There's going to be loads of really good content on there. And it's all about, doing things within our home environment. So, there's some fantastic things there. All right. Feet about hip width apart. Let's do one more standing pose. Something nice and simple. Right hand on the heart. Inhale, left arm to the left. Exhale, swap it out to the right. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. A nice powerful breath if you can. You can hear me breathing. I'm inhaling through my nose, I'm exhaling through my nose. We kind of started that asana portion of the class with a twist. And so this is one that's a little bit more dynamic, and we do it while we're standing, so we can really use the breath, use the arms, enjoy this relatively freeing pose, I guess. Inhale left, exhale right. And then just slow it down a little bit, and as you do that, just let the arms drop just a little bit. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, bring your palms face forward, and a full exhale. Nice, everyone. One more like that. Nice deep inhale, and then a full exhale. All right, so this is the Carolina-inspired part. She might have done this stuff with you the last couple of weeks. She might not. So you want to come where your feet are quite wide, and then you turn your toes out. It's so you can kind of come into a little squat. Now you don't have to come down too far, and we're not going to push it too far here. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of energy movement, a little bit of Qigong-inspired movement, and then we'll be in Shavasana. All right, so this is the last sort of standing thing we're going to do. So you're going to think about, well, we think about the second brain, the Dantian. You will kind of find this in Qigong. This is the gut, so it's the lower belly. This is kind of our instincts. We call it the second brain. It probably should be the first brain because we feel it here before we cognitively begin to make sense of it here. All right. So bring your hands so the palms are on your belly. Maybe close your eyes. Really feel into that part of your body. Nice. And then slowly bring your hands up towards your heart center. And then just breathe into your heart center, really softly. And then bring your palms away and have your palms face down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bend into your knees as you exhale. Really slowly push the air and the energy down. As you inhale, turn the palms up. Come all the way up, nice and slow. Bring the hands to the heart center. As you exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Gather up the energy. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. One more like that. Exhale, come down. Bend into the knees. Inhale, come up. All right, a little bit more. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come all the way up. Keep the arms coming. Palms face backwards, maybe a little hint to the back bend. Look up to the sky or the ceiling. Exhale, push the energy down. Inhale, gather the energy, bring it up. Little hint to the back bend. Exhale, come down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice, one more. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. This time, when you inhale up to the heart, keep the inhale going, press the palms out. Exhale down. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Inhale. And exhale. And then keep the hands coming all the way down. Bring your fingertips out. See if you can walk your feet in just a little bit. And bend into your knees. So you come into this little crouching position. And just take a couple of breaths. See how this feels. Have a little wriggle. Beautiful. Nice. And then from here, bring your bottom down. And then bring your feet out. Bring your hands behind you. And then just knock your knees either side. It's quite powerful, you know, the kind of little movements that we do with the energy and kind of pushing the energy around. It's Qigong inspired, which is a lovely practice. Check it out. I think it's spelled Qigong, Qigong. We used to have a Qigong class here, but we lost the teacher because she to go somewhere else. Anyway, it's nice. All right, beautiful. Come lying on your backs. Come down any way that feels good. Hug your knees in towards your belly. Have a little rock around, one final movement. And then from here, set yourself up in a shavasana that suits you today. Legs can be long, feet can be on the floor. You can always sit in this shavasana, you don't have to lie down. And just settle down for a couple of minutes, that's all. Just let all the amazing work you've done today integrate. I will be quiet for a couple of minutes. So let's do that from now. And then when you feel ready, just begin to bring a little amount of movement back into your body, over your fingers and your toes, ankles and your wrists. You don't have to think about this too much. I always like to bend my knees in towards my belly, just to realign my spine. And then a big stretch can feel good. You can lengthen the legs. Oh, feels good, right? And then come to a seated position. Or I should say, come back to a seated position. Just come forward. Nice. There we go. Beautiful, everyone. Really beautiful. Bring your hands to heart center. Just to honor your practice, to honor yourself, everybody around you. And with a wholehearted bow, nice and simple, wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. It's really nice to be back and to practice with you guys. Yeah, and there's some information there on the We Are Undefeatable hashtag Freedom to Move Challenge. And it says there at the Virtual Village Hall, 7 days of free 5-minute activities to help add a little movement into your day. And those little movements that we can add into our day are vital for our well-being, right? Because if we sit too much, and we get too stagnant in the way that we move around our homes, then, you know, that's kind of very, very slowly creeps into our physicality, but also mentally as well, right? We kind of feel sluggish. We feel like we don't have a lot of energy. So the We Are Undefeatable week is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to watching all of the videos. As I say, there's one of me in the bathroom, eh? Yeah, it's a good one. I'm in my shower. I am fully clothed, obviously, but, you know, yeah. No, it's a really nice a week that is going to be put together. Thank you, everybody. As I say, it's really lovely to be back. I will return this time next week. Please join me, and you can watch all of this content on Catch Up and all of the other amazing classes that are hosted by the Virtual Village Hall Royal Voluntary Service. They're such a wonderful organisation, so support those guys, because I'm not just saying this, but they are an absolute pleasure to kind of do work for. They're really amazing. So thank you for supporting them, and thanks for you guys for coming back, and thank you, Louise. That's really nice. Thank you, Karen. Thanks, Irene. Really lovely to catch up with you guys. I'm out of here, people. Love you loads, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you, Sharon. Really kind of you. Take care. Bye-bye.